If you live in Los Angeles County, there's a high chance you've heard a creepy tale or two about Turnbull Canyon, which is located right in between Whittier and Hacienda Heights. Over the years, there have been dozens of urban legends about the canyon, but despite that, there hasn't really been a lot of documented information to support any of them. There have also been a few cases of gruesome murders that have taken place in the area as well, and many locals will tell you it's best to stay away from the canyon at night, and that it's even cursed. But let's see if we can separate fact from fiction. Here's a list I've compiled of some of the creepiest myths about the canyon, as well as tragic accidents and documented murders that have taken place there.
Number 1.
A fairly well-known rumor is that the canyon was once home to an insane asylum in the 1930s. The story says that patients with mental illness were not assessed properly, and were inhumanely treated with electroshock therapy and even lobotomies. The asylum continued its unethical practices until it apparently caught fire and completely burned down to the ground in the beginning of the 1940s. However, many people dismiss this story as just an urban legend, because no documentation or historical records have been found to prove the asylum ever existed. There is only a forum post by a man in 2004 that claims he spoke with an elderly woman named Esther, who said she worked as a nurse at the institution. But that's not really compelling enough evidence for most people. I personally tried to find other sources of information to possibly unearth some factual evidence, but had no luck. What do you guys think? Was there really an insane asylum in Turnbull Canyon?
Number 2.
This is one of the few Turnbull Canyon legends that is documented, and is 100% fact. Robin Airlines Flight 416 West was leaving from New York City to Burbank, California on April 18, 1952, at 3:34 a.m. But things didn't go exactly as planned. Poor visibility due to fog caused the flight to be diverted to Los Angeles International Airport. On its approach to LAX, the plane's landing gear was extended, and the left wheel hit a ridge in Buena Hills near Turnbull Canyon. The airplane tumbled down and crashed into a steep side of the hill, causing it to explode on impact. All 3 crew members and 26 passengers were killed in this horrific freak accident. It was later discovered that the pilot, Captain Lewis R. Powell, was flying with a restricted medical certificate. If you want to know more about this crash, there's a great channel named Forgotten Tales who made a very detailed and well put together video on this incident. I will put links to his channel in the description below.
Number 3.
Now, this next one is widely believed to be false due to lack of evidence, but it's still pretty interesting. The same man who wrote the forum post about the asylum also claimed that in 1962, a group of drunk and drugged college kids ventured to the ruins of the burnt-down asylum. When one of the teenage boys got electrocuted after running his fingers along the remains of a long-dormant electroshock therapy device, legend has it that the voltage was so strong that his hair caught fire and his eyes popped. But there has been no medical records or police reports found to verify that this ever occurred, which causes many to believe that it's just a myth. But what do you guys think?
Number 4.
One of the more disturbing true events in the area happened in October of 2002. A 17-year-old girl named Gloria Gaxiola was killed, and her body was later dragged by a car for about 5 miles through Hacienda Heights. Her body was later dumped on a busy street, where she was discovered by passerbyers. At first, the police believed that Gaxiola was a victim of a hit and run, but the blood trail that went on for miles proved otherwise. Gaxiola was believed to be killed on Turnbull Canyon Road and Skyline Drive, then dragged over to Colima Road. Police worked on this case for over 5 years, but didn't make an arrest until 2008, when a witness came forth with information, which led to the arrest of Abraham Ruben Acuna, Matthew Andrew Garcia, and Victor Manuel Mong. All 3 suspects were arrested on suspicion of murder and possession of a firearm. It was later discovered that Gloria Gaxiola was strangled and shot before being dragged by the vehicle. Finally, on June 14, 2009, all 3 men were found guilty for the murder of Miss Gaxiola, and on July 8, 2009, the court sentenced Mr. Acuna to 55 years to life, Mr. Garcia to 75 years to life, and Mr. Mong to 80 years to life in prison.
Number 5.
When I was growing up, I was told about a place in Turnbull Canyon called the Gates of Hell, which was rumored to be a meeting place used by cults, Satanists, and the KKK. The gates are real, and they're located on Skyline Drive and Descending Drive. The gates are very easy to spot, and they stand out compared to any other property in the area, due to the tall fencing, large amounts of barbed wire, and security cameras placed along the property. So, what's behind the gates? Well, no matter who you ask, you're bound to get a different answer every single time. Some will tell you it's where the insane asylum used to be. Others will say it's where Satanists gather to perform their rituals. The amount of stories are endless, but none are backed by any hard evidence. The mystery of what could be behind the gates has sparked quite a lot of interest with thrill-seeking high school and college kids who travel to the gates at night as some form of rite of passage. There are even some videos on YouTube that date back from the years 2007 to 2012, showing people going to the gate, and even a video or two of people claiming they climbed the back side of the hill to go around the fence to peek in. But if you just go up the street from the main gates, you will find a side entrance with a shorter gate that also has barbed wire and even a guard dog. One of the YouTube users named Alexmartinzevallos, who filmed a video in 2010 in front of the gates, put an update in his video description that said he revisited the location on November 16, 2013, and that the gates, cameras, and motion sensors had all been destroyed. He made a second update in his description that said he heard from a credible source that the city is illegally drilling for oil, and that could be the reason why it's guarded so heavily. But on his last and final description update, he wrote that he was doing research, but couldn't find any registered property owners, but that he believes the property may have been owned by a past leader of the Church of Satan named Anton LaVey. But what do you guys think? Is it just an abandoned property? A site where oil is being drilled illegally by the city? Or something more sinister? Also, if the property really is abandoned and doesn't have any registered property owners, who has been feeding the dog all these years? Feel free to let me know your opinions in the comments section below.